Hey everyone, here's a quick day 2 summary of Paul Hudson's 100 Days of Swift course. So on day 2, he went over briefly the complex data types in the Swift language, and those include the following. You have arrays, which you see in a lot of other programming languages. The syntax, the format looks something like this, and you can address them by an index, numerical index. So this is a kind of a very typical complex data type, again, that you see in a lot of other programming languages. So here's how you do arrays. The other data type is called a set, and this is good for storing things where you don't really care about the ordering. You just care if something is in a set or not in a set. So here might be some colors that you're storing. And if you try adding something that's already in a set, it will not be stored twice. It's basically something's in or something isn't in. Another data type is called tuples. And here you actually have one variable, but it actually tracks several items, several bits of data, if you will. So it looks something like this. And here again, I'm running this all in Xcode Playgrounds, so you can get that quick feedback on how to work with these data types. Dictionary, you see this in some programming languages, not all. But this is where you have entries that are a pair. Sometimes they're called key value pairs. So here, if I want to save all the high scores for individuals for a game, for example, you enter 2 items at a time, and you have this colon to show the key and the value. And then you separate those pair entries by using commas, so something like this. So that's a dictionary. Another very useful complex data type is called enumeration, or enums for short. And this is good when you're dealing with I don't know, a category or something where there's just a limited set of values and you want to be able to refer to them. So real simple example is, you have a result which can either be one of 2 cases, success or failure. And then later on in your Swift program, you can refer to this and refer to result types as success or failure without having to spell it out, or people using different variations of that. Now, a couple cool things you can do with enumerations is, one, you can have what's called an associated value. So in the case when you're dealing with the result, for success, you want to track an additional data item like the score. You can define it like this, and then you would get to that. Let's say here you're declaring a constant, which is of this result type that we just declared, and you're saying, hey, in this particular constant, for the record, I had a success and my score was 88. And here, let's push play again in Playground, and here you see the value associated with my test. One more thing you can do with enums, which is also useful in some cases, is where you have a raw value. So let's say this is all the planets, the inner planets in our solar system. And here you want to be able to refer to the home planet in terms of its raw value. So in this case, the raw value is, you're starting to count from 0, so the raw value is 2. And then if we push play again, you'll see that this belongs to Earth. Now, you can do this based on int or I think maybe other values. But in the case of int, sometimes it's useful to start the counting from 1. So that way Earth is really the third planet from the sun. So if we start the counting from 1, raw value 2 means Venus. So we actually want this to be 3. So there you go. A quick recap on the complex data types from the day 2 lesson.